So it's time for another gardening week video, and given the time of year there's not much gardening going on. We are preparing now for the weather to change about mid-November time, and so I'm just moving some of the covers over some of the more tender crops, so things like the Asian greens, which will survive well into December time, no problem at all, but they will benefit from accelerated growth if they're under something like a low tunnel. And just tying in a few bits and pieces, and leaves, dealing with the leaves, because right now I'm just getting a huge amount of leaf fall onto really small seedlings and they can't really cope with it, so I'm just covering them with nets and fleece and things like that. Anyway, I'll show you around. So I'm always moving the covers around to suit the crops and the weather conditions. And today we took the netted frame off this kale and chard, because right now we don't, this is fine outside, it's not cold enough to cause any problems at all, but a netted cover was on there just because of the pigeons. But right now the pigeons have got so much to eat, I don't think they're going to bother with this little bed here, so I've moved this low cover down here over this bed because of all the leaf drop that's about to happen from that tree. And in here we've got leeks, we've got field beans, and we've got onions, and so I'm just protecting this. By about December time all this leaf will have dropped. I can take these covers off, I can move them back over that kale and chard, and then that's the time when I do need to start worrying about pigeons. And this bed then will be fine because everything's fully hardy there, so, and there'll be no leaf drop. Also got this nice little bed of spinach. Should start to be harvesting this in sort of late February, I'm guessing. And I've got another bed that will be planted in a few days, and then that one will be for early spring. But this had a low cover on it, a one like this, and spinach just doesn't need that sort of level of protection, and so just a little cold frame top is perfectly acceptable and will do the job. And so pop that on, and I'm just giving it loads of ventilation as well, because it's still not cold enough that spinach is going to worry about anything, but I will close it up if we get a really hard frost. But down here where this low cover is now, this was previously just a netted frame, and this has got red pak choi and tatsoi in it, and this will benefit from a bit of cover now. The extra warmth will do it really a load of good, and and just protection from the wind, really high winds and everything. And this bed was absolutely covered in leaves, and it's just got these little lamb's lettuce and salad onions in it at the moment, and you can see that they're just way too small to cope with all those leaves. So just this little cover on here just makes all the difference, and it'll just give them a bit more warmth as well and accelerate their growth so that they're ready in March time. So in the polytunnel we've also just potted on this wild rocket, which was not thriving in the smaller modules for some reason, and so I'm hopeful that'll pick up now so that we've got some for spring. In this really mild weather, these broad beans, they're just a few that we grow early in the polytunnel, they're really shooting up and they're a bit floppy, so I've already had to tie them into their high canes. And I've also started bagging up leaves, and we will have maybe 10 bags of, maybe 20 even bags of leaves eventually off the plot. And I find if I just put them in a black plastic bag and make a few holes in it, then they are quite well composted by summer next year. And then if I incorporate them in the compost, they're well rotted down and it's usable a few months later. But if I add them to the compost now, they just don't rot down very well. They need that time in the plastic bags first. Unfortunately, I just don't have space for a dedicated leaf mould bin. Debbie's plot, all these little flecks of green. These are the field beans just starting to germinate. So we're really happy with that. This was the old squash bed. So it's perfect timing to clear the squash, put in the field beans and then mulch with well-rotted horse manure. And the field beans will finish and we'll get squash in this bed again next year in early summer. So we've got our first succession of field beans in here. These will need canes to support them pretty soon because we've got cold, windy weather on the way. So not much else happened this week apart from the first frost, and you can tell that from the Yacon. Loads of gorgeous cycle rides, and yeah, dune walking. It's been a lovely week actually, and yeah, not got up in the hills, but the dunes are a good substitute. Turn my compost bin, and I like to do that every week. And loads of wood chip got delivered. That's pretty much it for the week, so let's take a look at the harvest. So there we go, another nice table. Apologies for the lighting, it's a bit early in the morning. Anyway, lovely salads as always. Salad volume's dropping down a little bit now, but still pretty good. Fantastic spinach. These are little carrots, big carrots, and just a selection of some of the root veggies. So we've got some turnips, some parsnips, and then the squashes. So we've got these little ones, very, very hard skins. Not sure we'll be growing those next year, but these are nice. These are the, can't even remember what they're called. And the last of the trumpuccinos. Crown Prince squash, still our favourite, and a little pumpkin that I did some swapping for, and just a few fresh beetroot out the ground, and then those are out the store. And first of the field bean tops, so that's quite a treat, and chard, celery, red pak choi, and then a lovely selection of leafy brassica greens, leeks, apples, and Debbie's been doing a bit of preserving. She's done carrot jam. We've got a lot of carrots this year. Apple, pear and ginger jam. And finally mincemeat with a snail on top. I don't think you're going to be included. Oops, I lost you. Yeah, anyway, there's the mincemeat. So yeah, really happy with that. It's another great table. Think about another sort of 40 odd different fruits and veggies. So hope you like this quick video. My name's Steve. This is the Seaside Kitchen Garden and Allotment channel, and I'll see you soon.